Hello and welcome back to Speed Demon Painting. Today we are taking a look at the Chione battlefleet set, which was kindly sent to me by Warcradle Studios for review. I have taken off the shrink wrap to avoid any obvious glares, because this artwork that is on this box has to be the best one they have done to date. I absolutely love it. The atmosphere is absolutely brilliant on it. Now, taking the art sleeve off, we find a medium box that usually contains quite a bit of plastic, but in this case it contains a big bag of resin and 2 plastic sprues in there as well. And I can see why they opted for the medium-sized box, because when you open this set you can immediately find the main hull in there, which is a lot larger than I was expecting. The rules for this model aren't out yet, but judging by the size of this thing, I can imagine that this is at least a Mass 4, if not a Mass 5 ship as well. It's a beautiful one-piece mold for the main hull that has only a single mold line really running across the bottom of it, which means that you can always just easily remove this by running your scraper or your knife across from it. And then when it comes to glue work, there is very little of it that you need to do. There are these submarines that are mounted on the side of it. They do have a certain left and right orientation, because there is a large flat area that you can glue them on, and so be mindful that you glue this the correct way. Don't get overexcited. And then you also get 6 small parts, which forms the front end of a new type of submarine that is also available. Those are the types of submarines that are being carried on the major submarine as well. And on top of that, there's only a few smaller pieces. There is one of the side fins that I'm trying to fit on here that will need to be glued on. It has a detailed bottom, which is probably why it wasn't able to be part of the main hull. And then you've got these 6 pieces that are sort of steering mechanisms, I imagine, of this large submarine. Now, speaking of that massive hull, I've gone ahead and made a few side-by-side comparisons with some of the older flagships that you could find in the Hunt for the Prometheus box, and as you can see, this one is significantly larger. And I was discussing the mass. You can actually compare it to one of the Mass 4 ships, in this case from the Alliance, one of the latest releases coming in there as well. That is what we try to do here on the channel, keep up to date with all things Dystopian Wars. So if you're interested in these releases and want to see more of the product reviews as well, I suggest you subscribe to the channel for any of the future videos coming up as well. And if you're completely new to Dystopian Wars, I've got a more commonly used model here, such as this Space Marine, and as you can see, compared to a regular 32mm figurine, this is an absolutely massive miniature as well. So if you're stepping into Dystopian Wars, expect to see big ships for an actually quite reasonable cost as well. I believe this set retails for £50, and given the size of this model, that definitely is justified. In addition, you also get all of the plastic bits needed to make the different tokens that come on these plastic sprues. They're mounted on those bases. Those are the larger circular things that you can see there. In addition, you can also make a couple of different cruisers out of that main hull. You can make one that is specialized in an artillery barrage as long range, launching tiny little ships, or one that actually masks as one of those 2 ships as well, or you can make a dedicated assault cruiser. In addition, you also get submarines that you can still turn into the regular versions that you want, that are available on the plastic sprues, but you're supposed to mount the new type of resin front ends in there, and these submarines are incredibly easy to assemble. You just need to cut out the 2 halves of them. You get 3 submarines in grand total, and then just replace them with the resin parts. You of course also get the parts for the assault token and the SRS tokens as well, should you decide to use those parts. In addition, you find a bunch of different weapon systems on there as well. These can usually be mounted on top of any of the plastic ships, but you don't really need them for the main resin hull in this case, so you really are free to do whatever you want with your cruisers, which is a nice change. Now, I've gone ahead and assembled the models and put some primer on there so you can see the details hopefully a bit better, and having glued the things to the side, the submarines to the side, it really has become a bit of a beefy model as well. There's only one small issue, one that doesn't really play up too much. There is a small gap of about 1mm where your submarine doesn't quite reach the bottom of the ship. I think it might actually help not getting too many parts damaged on that end, but yeah, you won't really notice it when it's flat on a surface, but it is there, that gap. I will be painting this model up as well in a new video coming up, and if you're interested in seeing that, it sort of links up with a paint guide I have already made on the Enlightened. So if you want to see what I make of these things, definitely subscribe to the channel for that future video. Now I've also gone and made the plastic and resin combination of the small submarines. Again, very easy to assemble, but there is a small thing that you only have a minimal contact between the resin and the plastic, and as such I've actually put a bit of I believe this is milliput that I put in there, but I always recommend you do so with your ships, because that's where I mount in any magnets for easy transportation. Just a single 5mm diameter magnet, and you can easily transport your models in a steel tray. Now, to give you a bit of a preview of how I'm going to be painting these up, this is one of my Plinius models, available in this set as well, that I had painted up earlier. I've gone for this sort of blue-grey hull, but to be honest, I wasn't quite pleased with it, because it sort of disappears quite often on these blue gaming ocean mats, and that's why I opted for a bit of a red glowy OSL effects on them, and I'll be showcasing that in the next video as well. So if you're looking forward to these and you like the video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next video where I paint up this beautiful submarines. And I'll be doing that with a two-tone sort of glass effect on the canopy as well. So I hope to see you in that next video. Until then, bye!